Will silver be Lazarus on steroids? Good morning, Ted Heads, and welcome back to another exciting broadcast here on Ted Speaks Live. Today, we're diving into a fascinating, perhaps even controversial question. Will silver be Lazarus on steroids? Now, I know what you're thinking. What does silver have to do with Lazarus, and why on steroids? Well, let's unpack the metaphor. Because it's only a vivid description, it might just offer us a glimpse into the silver's future in the global economic landscape. First, let's talk about the biblical figure Lazarus. In the Gospel of John, Lazarus was dead for 4 days before Jesus came and resurrected him. Lazarus' return to life was nothing short of a miracle. His revival was a profound symbol of hope, a demonstration of power, and a message about the potential for restoration even when things seem completely lost. So what does this have to do with silver? Silver has been in a state of relative obscurity in the global financial market. As central banks and governments around the world have pushed fiat currencies to the forefront, the role of precious metals, especially silver, has been diminished. Silver was once the backbone of the monetary systems around the world, but as we've seen, its prominence has waned over time. The question now becomes, is silver dead in the eyes of the global economy, or is it simply in a deep slumber, waiting for the right moment to rise again? Could silver experience a resurrection as profound and unexpected as Lazarus? Well, now let's add to that on steroids part, huh? What do you think, Ted? Lazarus was resurrected, but what if his return was more than just a typical revival? What if his revival was not just miraculous, but fueled by an extraordinary burst of power and potential? That's the concept we're dealing with here. When we say steroids, we're not talking about a simple return to the market. We're talking about a silver undergoing an explosive, transformative comeback that could see its value surge to levels that will make the old silver market seem like a shadow of what it once was. There are several key factors I want to feel that could trigger this monumental rise for silver, and I would like to share them with you right now. First, we must recognize and acknowledge that we are living in an era of unprecedented financial instability. Governments around the world are grappling with record debt levels, and central banks are printing money at an alarming rate to keep economies afloat. As fiat currencies are increasingly devalued, more and more people are looking for safe haven assets to preserve their wealth. Silver historically has been seen as a hedge against inflation. Could silver become the go-to asset for those that are seeking a stable store of value? But this isn't just about silver maintaining its value. It's about silver possibly soaring in value as the global financial system struggles to maintain stability. But it's not just the financial markets that are set to revive silver, it's also industrial demand. Silver is essential to a wide range of industries, particularly in renewable energy, electronics, and technology. As the world transitions to greener energy solutions, solar panels and electric vehicles are increasingly reliant on silver. This burgeoning demand could lead to a scarcity in supply, driving prices to new heights. Some experts suggested silver could reach price levels unseen in decades. Of course so, driven not just by monetary demand, but by industrial need. And that's where the on steroids part comes into play. Silver's rise may not be gradual. Instead, it could come into a burst of growth that could change the landscapes for silver investors forever. Let's talk about a global trend that could be the catalyst for silver's revival, a shift towards sound money. As we move forward to a world dominated by fiat currencies that are losing their value, there is growing interest in returning to a monetary system based on hard assets. Governments may not be quick to move towards a silver-backed currency, but the recognition that silver is real, tangible, and historically proven as money is gaining momentum among alternative thinkers, economists, and financial experts. This could lead to a broader return of acceptance for silver as a store of value. And more people could start buying silver as they begin to realize that it offers a level of security that fiat currencies simply cannot provide. Now let's look at the investment landscape. The modern investor is looking for something beyond traditional stocks and bonds. With the economic uncertainty we face, many investors are flocking towards precious metals as a safe haven. While gold often steals the spotlight, silver offers a unique opportunity. Historically, silver has been more volatile than gold, and this volatility could be an opportunity for investors to make significant gains as the silver market rallies. However, is simply investing in silver the wisest choice of action? I say no. Silver can be an asset that is fungible, recognizable, and has been accepted means of economic trade, or not. I'm talking about the dimes. Your parents used these dimes to buy your diapers and formula. They have fungibility, durability, and they have history. They're finite. And with the number of knuckleheads out there rumored to be melting down the pre-65 coinage, coupled with all the attributes we just finished mentioning, this will result in extreme scarcity during the most vital time in our nation's history, our transition back to sound money. Let's remember there are 380 million people in the United States, and each person is involved in 2.5 transactions per day. That's a lot of purchasing power that needs to be transacted regularly and without hiccup or delay. The demand for fungible, recognizable U.S. coinage in the lowest denomination possible will prove to be your wisest choice if you're an American citizen living in the United States during this unprecedented global reset. We can expect prices in today's nominal numbers to exceed $1,000 per dime. Yes. However, you would be wise to look at the definition of the word nominal. Perhaps we'll cover that the next time. We'll leave the tip jar on the counter. So let's think about it. If silver truly does come back with a vengeance, the profits for those who have been stacking silver could be extraordinary. Watch. And this surge could be just what the doctor ordered to revive the silver market in a way we've never seen before. So, will silver be Lazarus on steroids? Entirely possible. We're standing on the precipice of a financial revolution, and silver could very well be the asset that leads the way. As inflation runs rampant, fiat currencies crumble, and industrial demand soars, silver's comeback could be as profound and as transformative as a resurrection of Lazarus himself. Only this time it'll be supercharged by a global economy in turmoil, akin to Lazarus rising from the dead, jacked up on steroids and sprinting towards the exit. As we continue to keep our eyes on the silver market, we may just witness a miracle unfold before our very eyes. A silver revival unlike anything we've ever experienced, a story that will be retold for generations to come. Congratulations, you're a part of it. Welcome to the club. Thanks for joining us today on Ted Speaks Live. We're having fun, and as always, keep stacking, keep preparing, and keep watching silver. It might just surprise all of us. As China's serious flooding is generated the Mergatu district, Beijing, after the passage of the typhoon Dorsiki. Beijing faces flash flooding havoc as heavy rain transforms streets into riverways. Heavy flooding outside Beijing caused a bridge to collapse. Cars spotted in the water, 31,000 evacuated. Fenshan district in Beijing, at least 11 people dead and more than 20 missing, caused by Typhoon Dorsiki. The reason I wanted you to make aware of this is what is in the middle of all this and what could possibly happen: the destruction of the Three Gorges Dam.
You both, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, and this is the story. Iran admitting that U.S. and Israeli strikes, quote, badly damaged their nuclear facilities. Here is the foreign ministry spokesperson today.
Yes, our nuclear installations have been badly damaged, that's for sure, because it has come under repeated attacks by Israeli and American aggressors.
And then for Israel's part, they say that their assessment is that the strikes have set back Iran's nuclear program by, quote, many years. We know that intelligence by Israel in Iran has been very astute in recent weeks and months. So now President Trump saying that the United States and Iran will hold some discussions next week.
When I saw them starting to question the caliber of the attack, was it bad? Well, it was really bad. It was devastating. They obliterated. We destroyed the nuclear. In other words, that's destroyed. I said, Iran will not have nuclear. Well, we blew it up. It's blown up. To kingdom come. I think the war ended actually when we hit the various nuclear sites with the planes.
I mean, that's an interesting part of that statement this morning.
Well, let's take a look at this person. Neera Tanden reveals she had the authority to wield Biden's auto pen. I was authorized to direct that auto pen signatures be affixed to certain categories of documents. Who authorized it? Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States of America or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death. And here's a picture of that little Well, folks, I want to let you know that we received another update from JFK Jr., and we'd like to share that with you right now.
The military clock has struck, and the storm is not coming. It's here. At precisely 12:01 p.m. on the 20th of January, 2025, the world shifted silently. No headlines, no parades. Just a single classified trigger, the Military Commissions Act, was activated. This wasn't political posturing. This was the silent transition to wartime law the Constitution upheld not by courts but by commanders. Camp Justice is active. Guantanamo Bay is operational. Diego Garcia and Ramstein are now tribunal hubs. Behind the scenes, over 100 sealed executive orders are now unsealed. The tribunals have begun. This is no longer theoretical. This is precision warfare against enemies of the Republic, foreign and domestic. Civilian courts are now bypassed. This is military jurisdiction. Evidence long classified, now admissible. Witnesses secured. Warrants executed. No more delays, no more leaks, no more mercy. The operation is simple. Isolate, expose, neutralize. Every known actor, from financial architects to media operatives, is now being tracked. Escape routes are blocked. Safe houses are under surveillance, servers seized, communications intercepted. This isn't speculation. This is the quiet collapse of a deeply embedded global control structure. And leading this effort, Donald J. Trump, not just as a former president, but now functioning as commander of the restored republic, with support from over 200 global military alliances. This isn't a small task force. This is a worldwide military coordination effort. And it's not just about tribunals, it's about total systems reset. Let's talk about what just happened in finance. According to direct reports, the quantum financial system, QFS, just executed its next stage. 57 banks didn't go bankrupt, they were deleted, seized, absorbed, neutralized. These were not financial institutions, they were deep state laundering hubs. This isn't just GSRA in theory, this is military enforced financial reform rolled out through QFS, synchronized with encrypted Starlink protocols. The Federal Reserve era is ending quietly, surgically. At the same time, Gitmo is expanding, not shutting down, expanding. Underground chambers are being built deeper. Tribunal footage is being recorded and stored in 3 international data vaults for eventual public disclosure. The charges? Crimes against humanity, election manipulation, bioweapon development, global child trafficking, ritual abuse at the highest levels. And the consequence? Military justice, swift, absolute, uncompromising. These aren't public trials. These are classified legal actions under wartime protocol. In some cases, executions are taking place daily, not as retribution, but as system resets. The swamp wasn't just exposed. It was surrounded. Meanwhile, Starlink, often misunderstood as a simple tech network, is actually functioning as a classified battlefield control system. It locks onto rogue assets, tracks missile and drone threats, and deploys countermeasures. So far, every attack on Starlink has failed. The system holds. The sky grid is ours. What we are witnessing is the full convergence of financial justice, military tribunals, and digital warfare. This is multi-domain combat, unfolding in silence, masked by media theater. The mainstream will tell you none of this. But signals don't lie. When banks vanish in hours, when satellite grids go dark, when key figures disappear without explanation, something far greater is unfolding. Trump and his alliance are not waiting for public permission. They're executing legal restoration not for show, but for survival. And we've crossed the threshold. 12:01 p.m. wasn't just a moment, it was a declaration. From that point forward, the rules changed. The system of lies, bribes, and manipulation lost its legal shield. What's coming is not a political scandal, it's a historic reckoning. The deep state tried to silence the world with distractions, wars, and fear. But the Constitution outlasted the deception, and now military law is restoring what civilian law could not. Stay awake, stay informed, and prepare for the next phase, because what's happening next will shake the foundations of history.